So today, I'm going to talk about how I tap into my creativity. Tony Aragon here from Land Nirvana. On this channel, we help you find your confidence to increase your confidence so you can get the best out of life. So I've had a lot of people ask me how I create a lot of the things that I talk about. Aside from being a coach and having kind of a method for me to be able to share with some of my clients, I kind of have a system that allows me to be creative. I kind of have to where I can basically find my muse. So one of the things I do is I have a notebook, journal, whatever you want to call it. And I basically write, if something comes to mind, I write it down. Or if I happen to be listening to a podcast, or I happen to be reading a book, and it sparks a particular thought, I'll write that down. I'll put it into that journal and I'll come back to it. You know, there's apps that you can do, there's whiteboards you can use, there's just a lot of different things. But when you have an idea, get it down. It could even be when you're driving in a car. You have a thought. You pick up your phone, hit the record button, say what you want to say, and then you've got it recorded. That's really kind of the key component of it, is making sure that you don't lose it throughout the course of the day. If you have it, write it down. I know a lot of people, I'm not the greatest artist, but I know of a lot of people that do a lot of coloring or drawing or basically doodling, not trying to really create a piece of artwork, but just trying to find their muse again, trying to get into the flow. They'll doodle, they'll draw. My wife does this quite a bit, and it really helps her get into the creative mindset. What I like to do is I like to get out into nature, take walks, go by a river. This is one of the things that I taught my daughter. As a matter of fact, she carries this on. She does it quite a bit. She has a lot of novel experiences where she is getting out into nature. Really, it's where we came from, and that's really where we should find a lot of our connection. So getting out into nature and connecting with it really can get those creative juices flowing. You know, one of the things that I find when I get a writer's block and I'm sitting down at a desk, or I'm sitting down in some other locations where I do my creative work, or I'm writing a script for videos such as this, or I'm going to be writing a blog post, or I'm kind of putting a lesson plan together for one of my coaching clients, is I just get up, I move around, I stretch, I try to just get basically the blood flowing through my body to help me get into that creative mindset again, and remove that writer's block that is hindering me from having that creative moment. So this is something I talk about a lot. I always tell people, you need to make time for fun. You can't just always be focusing in on the goals and always trying to hammer out that next project, or writing that next script, or you just cannot always be in that moment. You need a moment to recharge that creative tank of yours. So you really need to do is find time for fun. Schedule it in. I've talked about this in many other videos I've done, where you need to take that moment to breathe, re-energize. Again, get in with nature, or whatever that you do that you find is enjoyment. That isn't really necessarily brain work. It's mindless. It's just meant to have some joy in your life. So lastly, it's one of the things that I talk about quite a bit. Matter of fact, it's a thread throughout most of my videos and when I'm talking to clients, to always be a lifelong learner. You know, you want to be able to incorporate a lot of knowledge into yourself. Sometimes we already have an idea. Sometimes we don't believe those ideas unless we hear it from somebody else. Again, there's really nothing new underneath the sun. However, when you hear kind of a validation that somebody else, a thought leader, somebody passing that you're having a conversation with, and you hear something that validates something you were thinking about, that gets that creative flow going. So I can't tell you how many times I sit down and I listen to a podcast, or I'm reading a book, or I'm reading an article that I've subscribed to, a particular blog, and I have some ideas, and they kind of come together. They kind of gel after I've heard some of these podcasts, and I'm like, yeah, that's really how this goes and fits in with what I'm trying to say or what I'm trying to talk about. So there's definitely a lot of different methods that I've shared today to help you, kind of get in with getting that creative juices, that creative flow going again.